Brain games. They put a hole in your brain, or maybe they make you smart, or they make you insane. Brain games, well, I don't know, but I do know that I got a whole lot of soul. Yeah, good morning. This is Anthony, on my way to the mailbox, because I'm putting a postcard for a new magnetic memory method masterclass member into the mail to say hello, to say thank you, and get some inspiration going. And it's going to be awesome for this new member. Anyway, brain games. The truth about brain games is devastating. You know, I was listening to Chris Cornell this morning, Higher Truth, and he sings about how he'll pick the higher truth every time. And I think that's really important when it comes to brain games, which is why well, just give me a second here. This is going to go into the mailbox. Woo! So yeah, brain games. The truth of the matter is that there isn't really a whole lot of evidence that they can improve your memory and stuff. And I've made a new podcast about it, which is scripted and rehearsed and not like this video with a song. There's no singing in it, but it's at magneticmemorymethod.com/brain-games. You can check it out. But in brief, in this video, I think one of the things that is very, very important is that we do play brain games, and that we play them intentionally, and we play them with information that matters, you know? That's the problem, and that's what I talk about in the podcast in detail, is that you're playing games, and I've done it. I've done due diligence, spending time with them to try and figure out what is going on, what they're like, what kinds of needs they might fulfill and serve. And I think that probably the biggest margin is in terms of improving your concentration, perhaps. But which incidentally, there's something in the podcast I didn't mention, which is this game that you could try. I'll tell you about it in a second. It's a lot of fun. But the thing is that it improves your concentration doing the game. And what on earth do you do with the games that you do in other parts of life where you need to focus and concentrate? You gotta really, really think about that. Because, for example, one of the games that I remember, and you know, it was enjoyable as a challenge, and challenge is a good thing to focus on, was looking for hats and other objects like behind tiles. So they had this kind of detective theme where there'd be footprints and a detective's hat and a magnifying glass and a flashlight and a little detecting case and so on. And it's fun, and you concentrate on it, and you do sort of exercise your memory. There's no doubt about that. But exercise the memory for what? When in life am I going around looking behind rotating tiles for these items, flashlights and magnifying glasses? The answer is never, ever. So when I play brain games, with the idea that it's going to help improve my memory or improve my concentration, it seems to me that the smart thing to do would be to play brain games with information that I actually need to use, that I actually need to be good at using, and to have fun with information that needs to be used. So if I were a medical student, for example, it'd be really, really great to have fun with medical information. Don't you think? You know, and then actually increase the ability to focus with medical information, so that when the time comes to use medical information, there would be focus for that particular thing, and fun, and love, and joy, and happiness around that topic, right? So there may well be these kinds of things out there, I don't know, but there's massive companies that are selling brain game software that are just general. And any general positive effect that you get, well, I guess that's cool, but how do you measure it? How do you know? if you play a game like the kind of games that I'm suggesting in the podcast that allows you to use your own mind instead of software and use information that matters, well, you can actually test the result. You know how much of an improvement and how much of an effect that you've gotten. It's not general improvement, it's very specific, targeted improvement that enables you to make better decisions, like about whether you're going to pay for another year of tuition at medical school, for example. That would be a very good thing, and you'll also know your passion and your joy about it. Anyway, the thing that I was going to tell you that I didn't mention on the podcast that I was messing around with the last couple weeks is a number game, and I call it +3 -7. And so the game is to pick any 3-digit number. It could be a 4-digit number, it could be whatever, but I just use 3. And +3 -7. So 3 times add 3 to whatever number, and then 7 times -7. This is why it should be a 3-digit number rather than a 2-digit number at the very minimum. And you just go through that. Now, you can pick any arrangement of numbers that you want, but I think that it should be pretty clear to you why that this is a great concentration exercise. And it is using information that we need to be good with all the time. We need to be good with numbers. No matter who we are, we need constant numerical fitness. So that's very useful. And it's been useful for me because numbers are, a thing that I need to be able to juggle in my mind just like everybody else, and the memory skills are great and can memorize any number, any sequence of numbers, equations and so forth. But when it comes down to actual calculation, that's another skill it involves memory, but it's not memory in and of itself. So this is just a fun little brain game. It doesn't involve an app. There's certainly brain game apps I've seen that do involve you making calculations, which of course will improve concentration, but that's concentrating on using the app. Imagine you're walking and you are just concentrating on numbers in your head without an app. You're concentrating on doing it in the world, which is where you encounter the need for numeracy and the ability to make calculations in your mind, is in the world, not on an app. Now that might seem like a totally ridiculous way of putting things, but I guess one way to think about this is that when you learn to wrestle or to fight or whatever, you might be good in the gym, but can you do it in the world, right? Now hopefully you never have to, but it does happen that, there's a difference between the training situation and the in-the-world situation. So I highly, highly recommend that you do brain games in the world. And I guess that's the point of the whole podcast. And I think you'll find it exciting, interesting, educating, elucidating, and I hope you'll be interested in leaving a comment, leaving your commitment to make your own brain games, and to just say hello, share, like, make comments, and so on, and come over to magneticmemorymethod.com, because if you are interested in learning how to build a memory palace, for example, create a memory palace, I often say, because some people hear the word build and it sounds like work. Oh no, work. I just got to chuckle at how much people hate work. This is the most amazing thing, with the opportunity that we have to work, to contribute to the world, to use our muscles. I love it. I love work. Anyway, so create a memory palace and be able to just use the natural abilities of your imagination to learn, memorize, and recall anything. That's on magneticmemorymethod.com. If you're watching this video on YouTube, hit the like button, spread it around, and share your thoughts in the comments and wherever on Facebook comments and so forth. And we will speak again very soon. Let me know how you found the full podcast version of this, and let me know what brain games that you create for yourself. Maybe you already play brain games and I sound like a complete ignoramus recommending that you do so. That'd be fascinating to hear about as well. Okay, so this has been Anthony Metivier from MagneticMemoryMethod.com, coming to you live from the streets of Berlin, where it's very beautiful, very warm, very sunny. And I'm going to a productivity meeting session to work with some other people very, very briefly. I don't like to sit for too long. And then I'm going to get back out in the sun and walk. It's also fasting day, which is why I'm drinking lots and lots of water. And I'll leave you with the soul bottle and my recommendation to keep yourself magnetic.